So much has happened since the last time we recorded a video and kicked out to social media and also on YouTube. So we wanted to kind of bring you up to speed on a few things. We just monitored the April 15th press conference by Governor Pritzker, as well as the Illinois Department of Public Health, and the information that they're providing and questions that they're answering. If you didn't catch it, it was primarily centered around budget and just bringing people up to speed on the position of the budget. Looks like they're going to be almost $3 billion, $2.8 billion short on the budget just for this fiscal year. And then that ends in just a few months. And then, of course, next fiscal year from a revenue shortage of somewhere, a revenue shortage off of projection, somewhere about $4.5 billion. Primarily, all of that is related to the COVID-19 and all of the state fiscal impact in that regard. And of course, then he addressed many other issues in the press conference as well. As that information comes out, we make sure that we update you and make sure that you have the latest information. Some of the changes that we've made to the article and information that we provided you. First of all, we really want to make sure that you're aware that the Medicare, and that is the CARES Act Provider Relief Fund, there's a $30 billion putback, if you will, into the system. And what they've done is they've really based it on 2019 Medicare billables. And so if you're not sure what that is, check your bank account. There's a reasonable chance that you've already received yours. If you receive direct deposit from Medicare, that's exactly where the payment will go. I know that some of you are receiving a small $0 amounts that are tagged with pre-note and HHS payment. Based on our research, it looks like that's a handshake between the banks, and it's just kind of a connection between the banks to make sure that the information is valid before they actually put that money in. And that really doesn't matter whether you have received payments from Medicare in the past, because it's coming from a different institution this time, because the government actually contracted with Optum Bank to be able to kick out these funds. And so that it could create some challenges. If that changes, we will definitely let you know, but that does appear as of right now exactly what that pre-note amount is. And so we wanted you to be aware of that. Other things, by the way, if you're not sure what that is, I encourage you to take a look at the article, and it explains how that relief fund is going to work. But it is $30 billion, and we're hearing from our doctors that their payments are ranging between $1,000, $5,500, and we had one that was almost $10,000. And so it's worth checking into. Also letting you know, and this isn't in the article, but the paycheck protection money appears that today may be the last day that they're going to be accepting applications, today or tomorrow, primarily because the $350 billion is already been accounted for. Now, if you haven't received word, that's nothing to be too concerned about at this stage. They're allocating these funds so fast. Again, we're talking about $350 billion. But if you haven't, you want to make sure that you get your application in as quickly as possible. And by today, I mean April 15th, which is Wednesday. If this is Thursday, contact your bank and see if they're still taking applications. Other things that you want to know. There are a ton of coronavirus scans. We just added that section this afternoon. I'd encourage you to take a look at it. That includes where people are calling you and requesting information about your bank account. And it may even reference one of the relief funds or the Paycheck Protection Program or even the EIDL loans. Please go out and take a look at your account. Monitor that closely. But know this, that the governmental entities aren't going to call you and ask for information. They're going to call you and ask for your bank account information. It never happens. It's not going to happen. They may encourage you to go online, log into your account, and update your information there, or call them and contact them at numbers that you know are Medicare numbers. So if you get an email, please don't call or click on those types of things. You want to make sure that you actually independently gather that information by checking the URLs and typing them in. Don't just necessarily click on these email scams or potential scams, if you will. So, and on phone calls, of course, be careful of those as well. There's tons of other information. We updated some information to make it a bit more clear of what we are recommending for our doctors in regards to protecting you and your patients in your office, in regards to treatment protocols and masks and gloves and things along those lines. We want to make sure it's abundantly clear and exactly where we're sourcing that information from and where those recommendations, what guidelines that they're based on. And so we've included that information. I encourage you to take a look at that as well. There's so many other things. We put out some mental health resources this week. And if you didn't see, there's some work comp adjustments that are related to COVID-19 that are also going to impact. And by the way, if you don't know this, we did a really soft announcement, but we've actually added a new member benefit for ICS members for potentially lower workers' compensation insurance. And so we would encourage you to take a look at the work comp section in the COVID-19 article. At the bottom, you'll see there's a quick link on where you can begin to go and process applications, if you will, for some potential savings for your work comp through a group. And actually, it's also backboned, if you will. It's underwritten by Hartford, and so it's worth checking out. Again, so many other things and information on business interruption coverage from your insurance carrier and those types of things are out there in the article that have been updated over just the last maybe 2.5 days. If you have any questions, of course, always reach out to us. There's a chat bubble on our website at iochiro.org. You can find it in the bottom right-hand side. It's there. It comes up both mobile and on your PC. And reach out to us, send us emails. You can always give us a call at the office. Those are a little bit slower into return because we're not actually physically at the office, as you can tell. You're in my sunroom at my home, and so we're working remotely as well. But hopefully you've noticed that this entire staff, the entire staff and leadership team is working very hard on your behalf. We want you to be able to succeed as much as possible through this event and come out on the other side stronger than what we were even moving into it. And again, I've told you this before, but you're definitely in our thoughts and prayers as we move forward. And if you have any need, please reach out to us. We'll catch you next week.